Hey everybody, what's up? JS here and welcome to Foot Techniques Decoded Part 3. Today we're going to take a look at some advanced techniques. We're going to look at the heel to toe technique and we're going to look at the slide technique. Now we have a few exercises to do for each, okay? They're going to be great. These techniques open up doors for you. They enable you to manipulate the feel of your grooves, throw triplets in, all sorts of cool stuff. But before we get to the techniques, you have to condition your leg. You've got to get the motion going. You've got to get used to using your ankle joint and working these muscles. You know, just by using your hip and doing this for years, you haven't conditioned your leg properly. Some people, I'm not saying you in particular, but some people have not. So what I'd really like you to do, if you have not done, is to go back on lesson 1 and 2 and do those exercises first for a couple of weeks, then continue on. But for those of you who have been doing those exercises, this is where the fun's really going to start for you. Now, we're going to take a close look at the heel to toe technique first. What I've done again is I've saved all the close-ups for each exercise at the end of the lesson. That way, after you've watched this a couple of times and you get the explanation and understand what I'm saying, you can just go right to the end and you can watch the close-ups and you can copy the moves for yourself and work on them like that. So the first one, as I mentioned, is the heel to toe technique. So let's take a look at that. Now, the heel to toe technique itself is very simple in its formula. It's a little tricky to get down because of the motion that's involved, the repetitive motion. It's really muscle memory and really focusing on it. But here's what the deal is with the heel to toe technique. If you look at my foot, now I took my shoe off just so we can have my sock on so you can really see the ball of my foot, which is right there, okay? So with this technique is what happens is you start with the beater against the head. You start with the beater against the head. You start this technique with the beater against the head. And you start this technique with the beater against the head. I'm sorry I'm repeating that, but it gets repeated so many times and it doesn't stick, okay? So even if you're playing a beat and you're in the beat and you're going to go do the heel to toe technique, remember whatever note you're going to start it on, that note's going to be against the head, then you're going to do the technique. So with my heel up, and I'm going to over exaggerate this motion, excuse me, so you really understand it. So with my foot all the way up in the air like this, what you're doing is the beater's against the head, my foot's up in the air, I'm coming down, the ball of my foot is striking the pedal forward, okay? The beater's against the head. You relax your foot, and at the same time you're bringing your heel back up, you bring the front of your foot down, your toes. So technically, it's a toe to the ball of your foot maneuver, okay? But when you stomp your heel down and you do that technique and you bring it down with your foot flat and you're coming down and now the ball of your foot is making that strike and you're relaxing the beater and you're coming up and you're pushing it down again. You've got the second strike and now you're reset for your first maneuver. Coming down again, pressing forward and pressing forward and coming up. So that's the heel to toe technique. One more time, really slow. The beater's against the head. You're relaxing your leg, you're lifting your hip, you're coming down with your hip, you're bringing your knee down. The ball of your foot is pushing the pedal forward. You're bringing your heel down. You're letting the beater come back up. You're lifting your heel up. You're reversing the motion, and now you're pushing down with the front of your foot. Okay? Nice and easy. Now, so this will help you. As you're doing the motion and getting familiar with it, try and picture the bottom of your foot round. I call it the banana effect because as you start getting used to this motion, going back and forth like this, it really is going to feel like the bottom of your foot is round. And as you start going through these techniques and these exercises, it's going to feel like one of those rocking chairs. Not a rocking chair, but almost it's going to turn into that glider feel. You know a glider chair, how it just swings back and forth? So your foot's going to go from this motion to kind of like this. You're going to shorten up the motions. You're going to shorten up this over-exaggerated technique to just bringing it down to a little motion like this. All right, so now I'm going to talk about each exercise individually, and again, they're going to be at the end. Okay, everybody? Okay, so the first exercise is a full step exercise, a full step over-exaggerated exercise, over-exaggerated. So you get your foot all the way up as far as you can. You get all the way up on your tippy toes, all the way up, you get your knee all the way up in the air, and as you come down, you bring down, you make that first hit with the ball of your foot, you relax your heel down, you let the beater come off, and now as you lift it up, you really step forward hard and you bring it all the way up, all right? And that second hit comes with the up. So again, you're in this position, one motion, two, one motion, two. Over-exaggerated, just really, really big motion. That's the first exercise. The second exercise is relaxed heel. You're going to do the same technique, you're doing the same thing, but instead of bringing your heel all the way up, you're going to keep your foot more in that even heel exercise that we were doing 2 weeks ago. So from this position here, you're going to do the same technique, but you're going to relax your leg a little bit. Instead of bringing it up and over-exaggerated, you're going to do just the opposite. You're going to chill out and you're going to relax that motion. And you're going to go just like that. Nice and easy. Again, the second exercise, just relax, nice and slow. Nice and slow. Nice and slow. All right. The third exercise is the rocking motion, that banana feel, the continuous motion. And again, you can do this with your heel high and you can do it in the low motion. But you're just going to go again, you're going to go nice and slow, nice and slow. Okay, nice and slow. So those are your exercises for the heel to toe technique. I'm sorry my mic is crackling up. I hear it going on. I'll figure it out later. But anyway, those are your exercises for heel to toe technique. Let's talk about the slide technique now. So the slide technique. Now the slide technique, we're going to just do two simple motions today, and we're going to do one again in a full exaggerated motion, and we're going to do one in a kind of continuous motion. Now I'm not going to do it really full force here, the full exercise, because it'll be really loud and very annoying. Like I said, the close-ups are at the end. So the first exercise for the slide technique is a two-step, okay? Again, you're going to come down one note, two note, one note, two note, one note, two note. You're literally bringing your leg up, you're letting your knee come back, you're pressing a note down. You're bringing your leg up, you're letting your foot come forward, pushing it forward as your knee comes up, and pushing another note. You're coming up, you're coming down. You're coming up and forward and down, up and back and down, up and forward and down, up and back and down. Okay, a full exaggerated stomp. A big step, a big step, a big step, a big step. Just the way you see it at the end in exercise one is exactly how you to do it. See that? My mic is freaking out on me. Man, technology crap junk. The second exercise is, again, it's the same thing. You're going to do the same motion, forward and backwards, and like the other exercise for heel to toe, you're going to do a continuous stomp, okay? You're going to go. Sorry about that. I guess it's time for me to buy a new mic, folks. Now, I usually do these exercises with my shoes on. I did them with my shoe off because I wanted you just to see it's really just toe and the ball of your foot, and it's just small little motions you're really making. Once you get the muscle memory down and you get the control down and you build up the you build up the dexterity and the control. These motions, you start to shrink them down because you're getting more power and you're getting more control. So you can shrink the movements down, but get bigger results, okay? And again, this is going to be focus. You need to do these exercises very slow and very focused. As I've said 100 times already, use a timer. It's just as important as a metronome to have something that you can physically look at and go, okay, each exercise 2 minutes, tick, 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 bing, 2 minutes. All right, guys? So that's it for this week. Advanced techniques, heel to toe techniques, basic. We took a look at it. We're doing some basic exercises with it. And the slide technique, same thing. Very basic exercises. Next week is part 4. We have the big charity thing. We're giving away the brand new JoJo Mayer pedal, and it's a masterclass, and it's going to be live, okay? And it's also going to be aired on YouTube as it is live, okay? A link will be on my Facebook page. There'll be more information on that. But anyway, guys, if you have any questions, make a comment below. I'm always around. I love to chat. Hit me up at Skype. It's js.net on Skype. Hit me up on Facebook. It's facebook.com/drum yoga. And right here on YouTube, man, subscribe, like, and pass it on, everybody. And thank you so much. Namaste. Enjoy the close-ups. And again, if you have any questions, hit me up soon. Take care, everybody. Thank you.